We welcome you into the Small Ball Podcast alongside Trevor Mickelin. I'm Scott Ayers. Christian Dennis is out, so guess what? Today we've got Chance,
The rapper?
the rapper. He's sitting in. It's his cutout. And of course, producer Andy is here.
Let's go, Andy. Andy's got a mic tonight.
Andy's got a microphone. He's ready. And you know what? Really, Small Ball is ready because, Trev, for the first time in what feels like months, we're actually going to have video to a podcast.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah.
Andy, our producer's been gone on trips. We have been gone on trips.
So many trips.
Not me, but you guys.
So many. I was in your home.
You were in Sacramento. Yeah, we talked
recorded
about
pod, I was in your home of Sacramento.
Yeah, we talked
Beautiful
about that.
city.
Beautiful. Did
Really?
you like it?
I like Sac.
Did you actually?
I liked it. Right? Andy was with me.
Why do you say it like that? Why do you say it? Why are you talking like that?
We liked
I
it,
actually
Andy.
haven't heard your thoughts even off air, so I'm like actually curious.
Andy, how would you share Sac?
I want honesty. Don't try to sugarcoat it for the listeners or for me. Like, be honest. How is
City-
Sacramento?
The city overall,
Yes.
mid. Traffic, great.
Great
Food,
traffic.
great.
Food.
Overall score, 8 out of 10.
Okay, Andy's high on it.
I liked
Yeah.
Sac. It was good. Like,
Yeah.
great food.
City was mid though.
Yeah,
it's
just
like-
like, it's not big.
No.
Like, you can't expect, like, a whole lot
And I
to
think
do.
I
but-
think we were just kind of, we went to what's the baseball team again?
The River Cats.
That was sick. Yeah, I think maybe if we knew exactly all the different places to go, food was great. City, yeah, it was great. 7.5.
7.5. All right, fair enough.
That's not bad.
I wouldn't have expected high scores if I'm being honest. It's Sacramento. It's like it is what it is. I love it because I'm from there. That's my city.
Hey, we have that's how I'm with Lincoln. That's how Andy probably is with Columbus or Cleveland. So
No, there's actually a lot to do over there.
Okay. Okay.
this guy is. I hate that we give him
Try
a
to
mic.
toss him a bone.
Yeah, I tried to toss him a bone, and he's.
Literally Ohio. Like
Yeah, dude, give me a break.
Yeah.
Cry me a river.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm taking my girlfriend there in a couple weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
to Sacramento.
No.
To Ohio.
I know.
Are you guys going to a football game?
No.
What?
No. It's unfortunate, but
Okay.
whatever.
Okay. Well, we'll get a report on that.
Scott, before we even talk ball, I mean, your hoodie looks really nice right now.
Wait, where did you get that shirt?
Yeah, I bought it from the Small Ball merch website.
What?
Yeah.
We have one of those?
Yeah, check this out, guys. Check these out. We have T-shirts available. We have hoodies available. We have
Towels.
a beach towel. We have a beach towel available. We have merch. Finally, we've been asked that, like, when are you guys gonna sell T-shirts and stuff? So we officially did that. To buy stuff, head to our Instagram, hit the link in the bio, hit the merch. We don't make much from it, but it's fun to see people rep our podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's cool having friends wearing stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just fun.
And
to
it's
see.
honestly a great way to help the podcast grow because you'll wear it out. People will wonder what that is. And it's an opportunity for you to plug us. So we appreciate anyone that has bought and for those who buy, we're excited.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you guys.
Thank you for anyone who's repping stuff. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
And that's before we even talk basketball. How about that? We got a lot of good stuff out of the way. Talk sack. We talked merch. We talked about how we're back.
We're back.
We're back. And we're only 2 weeks away from preseason basketball. We're so close.
We are close. I could feel it.
These next few episodes, obviously, I think what we've decided on Small Ball is some pods, they'll do a lot of hypothetical conversations of like, well, who's going to be the breakout guy this year and this year? I think we hit a point where it's like, all right, you can only have so much of that conversation.
Right.
So instead, we're going to do buy or sell.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are narratives going into this next season.
Yeah.
Around players, teams, organizations, and like, hey, are you buying or selling this
sure.
narrative? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to ask them to me?
And I'm going to ask them to you. It
right.
was going to be designed for you and Christian, but as we noted, he no-showed us.
Yeah.
Got off of an airplane. Can't drive to the Small Ball podcast.
Yeah.
Classic Christian.
There's no more tally board, but we know who would be on top.
Yeah, no, he's missed more shows than anyone.
Yeah. And Kawhi Leonard has missed NBA games.
Yes, thank you. I was thinking of a comparison.
Yeah.
He's the Kawhi Leonard of
He is-
Small Ball.
He is Kawhi Leonard.
Goated.
Goated. No doubt.
Misses a lot of games. They're
Yeah.
talking about his back end of the career not being very good. That's Christian Dennis. All right.
All right, give me some of these, bro.
Let me give you some of these. I think the first talking point, CBS Sports, they released their top, not their top, but just 30 coaches, NBA, ranked 1 through 30. And in that top 5, they have Spoelstra at 1, Nick Nurse at 2, Rick Carlisle at 3, Steve Kerr at 4, and Ty Lue at 5. One thing to note, Boston Celtics and Denver Nuggets, they won 2 titles, the 2 last defending champs. Neither coach cracks the top 10. Trevor, are you buying or selling this list CBS put out on the top coaches in the NBA?
Scott, I am selling
Wow.
that list. If for me to buy it, I would have to agree with, most of those rankings. I mean, there are guys that, like you mentioned, Mike Malone, not on the top 5. I would have him in there. And listen, I feel like that list was built off of like longevity, maybe. I mean, Rick Carlisle made the list.
They have Will Hardy at 7.
Will Hardy? So it's not even longevity.
They have Budenholzer at 9, the guy who just got
Yeah.
fired from the Bucks.
Right. Interesting. Budenholzer did have some great years in
He did.
Atlanta. Team basketball, ultimate team
Yeah,
basketball.
for sure.
But
what's this
that's
list made
interesting.
of?
Yeah, dude, I don't get that. Is Popovich on it?
Popovich was like 13.
Popovich was 13? What is this? Oh, so this is like top. This is the rankings heading into next season. Like these are the best coaches
This is
in
who
the NBA
they think
right
are the
now.
best coaches.
Interesting.
But Rick Carlisle at 3?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they liked what he did in the playoffs this last season.
But then if they like that so much, why is Nick Nurse ahead of him
Yeah,
for a team that flamed out?
right. Yeah, I'm selling this list so hard.
Sell that.
I
sell
don't like
that
it.
list. Kevin Durant picked his perfect starting 5.
Okay.
This is Kevin Durant's perfect starting 5 lineup. Luka at the 1, Klay Thompson at the 2, Kevin Durant at the 3, LeBron James at the 4, and Joel Embiid at the 5. Trevor, are we buying or selling this list?
Before I answer,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
Is this prime these players or is it right now? Because there's no former players in that.
None.
It makes me think
it
it's
has to
right
be all
now.
current players in their state right now. And he said he picked Joel Embiid over Jokic. Context important because he thinks Joel Embiid's a better 3-point shooter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm selling that. I can get behind every single player. If we're talking current level, I can get behind every player except for one. Why is Klay Thompson on that 5?
Why?
There are so many other 3s, 2s that you could put in his place.
I agree.
Klay
The Joel Embiid argument made more sense than Clay.
Right, yeah. Like, I'm okay with the Joel Embiid. Andy's got a question. Let's hear it.
Basically, I had a problem with the Luka one. I actually think Steph deserves it over Luka.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Would you put Steph and Luka together?
No.
I would. I mean, I'd be okay with moving Luka up to the 2, push everyone up, kick
Yeah.
Clay out, and have Steph at the 1.
Because that's a huge omission is not having
Right. And what
the
is that?
greatest shooter of all time.
What does that say to Steph and Golden State? I mean, is there some animosity there from KD?
Now that's a storyline.
That's a storyline. So with that said, I haven't answered. Did I? I'm selling that.
So
That's a terrible lineup with Clay in it.
that's terrible. Jimmy Butler, though, his odds. And let me rephrase that. Jimmy Butler's been talked about though as he's been with Miami for a while, but there's more buzz that he is going to leave Miami. They are no longer the favorites. And instead, if Jimmy Butler does leave, the team's most favorite to get Jimmy Butler are the Brooklyn Nets, Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, or the San Antonio Spurs. Trevor, are we buying or selling that this year will be Jimmy Butler's last in Miami?
Wow. So that means, yeah, I am going to buy. I'm going to buy that. Jimmy Butler, his stint in Miami has been one of roller coasters. The highs are high. They're in the NBA, finals
Twice.
They were the 8th seed, made it to the finals. They also had moments where Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler are arguing on the bench and nearly coming to blows. So to me, if I'm, the Heat organization is one that is held at high regard in the NBA. So they usually, I feel like they wouldn't stand for that kind of behavior. And Jimmy Butler, he's a dog, don't get me wrong, but I mean, everywhere he goes, trouble seems to follow.
Yeah.
Trouble seems to follow Jimmy. So I think it's time for Miami to move on. They have Bam, they have Tyler Hero, and maybe they can get some younger assets around those guys. I just feel like it's time for Jimmy to move on.
Yeah, it feels like it might be time to build around Bam because I think the writing was on the wall last season. 2 seasons ago, no one expected them to make the NBA Finals.
Right.
Last year's kind of what we expected, and now it's, hey, everyone's older. Terry Rozier's older. I wouldn't even be surprised if they stink at the deadline. Maybe he's gone at the deadline because that contract is expiring. But I think that's a great sell. And then finally, my favorite one, Ben Simmons is reportedly more advanced now than he was at this time last year. He's been playing 5-on-5 ball for weeks. So rather than saying, are we buying or selling Ben Simmons, are we going to buy or sell that Ben Simmons will play more than 30 games this season? Actually, let me bump it to 40 games. Are we buying or selling?
40 games.
40 games. So just under half the season.
I have a famous Chinese proverb
Okay.
to say to you. And it goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So with that said, I am selling that Ben Simmons will play more than 40 games.
Wow.
I'm not falling for it again.
You can't.
He's fooled me.
He's fooled.
I have bought the Ben Simmons hype heading into seasons.
Last 5 years.
I mean, a couple years ago, I was hoping that my team was going to trade for Ben Simmons.
For sure.
In the midst of all the turmoil in Philly, and he was sitting out, I was like, we need to go get Ben while he's cheap. This guy has LeBron James potential.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying it again.
He's the ultimate jester of the NBA.
Yeah, he has the ultimate fall off, dude. I'm selling that so hard.
Yeah. I think that's a good call. He's on my fantasy basketball team.
Yeah, Dynasty.
And he will probably retire on my team.
Well, here's the thing. This is the rhythm that happens every year for Scott. Fans, listen. Scott has Ben Simmons. I know Ben Simmons is going to fail you at some point.
Yeah.
So even last year, Ben Simmons gets back, and he
Start
plays
off
really
high.
well. Averaging 40, 50 fantasy points. He was a high-level guy. And I told Scott, I'm like, dude, Scott, you got to sell him while he's high. But he bought into the hype of like, no, Ben Simmons is back.
Yeah.
This is him. He's back. He's so versatile.
He's
But
incredible.
He wouldn't do it. And then like
He was out for the year.
2 weeks later, it reports that, all right, he's out for the year now. And you received offers for him.
I did.
So my goal I'm going to give you a goal this season.
Yeah.
When Ben Simmons inevitably comes back, and he may play well, you have to trade him while he's playing well.
I've got to finagle Christian.
You got to finagle Christian. Christian loves Ben Simmons.
Yeah. I need to trade him to
You
Christian.
need to trade him to Christian.
Because that's the problem. He got hurt, and then the offers I was getting was like, hey, do you want this like mold found in this dirt here?
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, I can't accept that. I
Right.
have some dignity.
You have to give him up though for you
Something.
can't expect a lot.
Yeah. No, I
But you
can't.
got to give him up for something
For something.
of some value.
Yeah.
Not mold, but not gold.
No.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, not mold, not gold. Something in the middle.
I'm in my Chinese proverb era.
You were crazy.
I'm crazy.
You went sicko.
I went sicko.
Speaking of fall off,
Yeah.
we've got Chance next to us.
Yeah. Big fall off.
Would you say it's like music industry is like one of the biggest fall off in the music industry?
I feel like there's got to be more that we're
For sure. Yeah.
we're not music
I don't know
gurus.
music. No, that's
but I'm
not
gonna
music.
say Chances was huge.
Dude. I mean,
We are a
was-
culture hip hop podcast. Talk to him, Scott. Dude.
I mean,
Chance.
Listen, a lot of people know me.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
They know my understanding of music isn't the strongest.
Sure.
I have I'll find a song 8 months after it's become popular. But I
mean,
think
you were telling me right before the podcast,
Yeah.
Scott goes, Trevor, and he was so serious. He's like, I unironically have been listening to the Costco guys song, the Boomer Doom. He goes, boom. That's what we do.
Bring the boom.
You were listening
for
to
your
that?
FYP.
Imagine pulling up to someone in a Tesla, and it's Scott, and he's just blasting Boom, the Boomer Doom song. Like, come on.
Well, I think about that when I go through the drive-through because I have to like find a song in my Spotify that's not embarrassing while it's playing when someone's taking my order.
We bring the boom.
That's what we do. We bring the boom. I mean, that's sick. They
crazy.
didn't have to go that hard.
Dude, you're insane for listening to that, though. So anyways, music.
Anyways, Chance.
Yeah.
Even with that, I know Chance's fall off was huge.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, NBA player that had as big of a fall off,
Who?
you're going to like this. Andrew Bynum.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Callback.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. We're able to touch different time periods on this podcast. Andrew Bynum, I remember as a kid, it was kind of at the heart and the peak. The Lakers, they were still winning. Bynum comes onto the scene. Pretty sure he made an all-star team.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, these Lakers are going to be good for another 10 years. Because Andrew Bynum is the next, Shaq.
Yeah.
He wasn't obviously built like Shaq, but as a young teen, you're like, this guy's gonna be insane.
Yeah, the hype behind him, 19 and 12 that year.
He was unbelievable.
He was 24 years old.
He was 24, and it's like, dude, the Lakers have their next big, like the next Gasol replacement. And then I think he was out of the league like 2 or 3 years later.
Yeah.
He is Chance the Rapper for me.
That's a good one.
Do you have one for me?
Yeah, I got one. If we're talking, I got some from this era. I mean, we talked about Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
We talked about. I mean, we haven't, but I'm going to say James Harden is one of them. James Harden, massive fall off.
Giant fall off.
There's guys that like go after year one in the NBA. You think, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be really good.
Yeah.
A lower level one, Chris Duarte from the Pacers.
I remember 2 years ago you were telling me about Duarte, and you're like, dude.
On the Pacers after his rookie
Yeah,
year, it's
you're like,
like,
this
oh
guy
man,
is
he was an
really
older rookie, but this guy's going to be solid. And then sophomore year, he had injuries, and he just sucked.
He stinks now.
So anyways, there's guys that fall off all the time. I don't know if one is bigger than Brandon Roy. Roy. This guy, rookie of the year.
He dealt with some injuries, didn't he?
He
Brendan
dealt.
Roy?
Yeah, that's why his
Yeah.
career ended when he was, basically 26 years old. So he was amazing, dude, for
Yeah.
Portland. And he had 3 All-Star games, and people thought his second season in the NBA, he made an All-Star game, and
You know
people
what?
thought this guy's
He
gonna
might be
great.
Chance, because Chance was big.
Chance was big.
He was huge.
He was huge.
He was huge. But was it Chance who was like, no, I'm not going to have any like label or anything like that?
I think he's independent. Yeah.
He was independent.
Yeah.
And I think that got him. That's my music take.
That's sick, Scott. That is sick.
I know. It does make me happy.
Brandon Roy, is he Chance the Rapper of the NBA?
That's got to be the show headline.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Roy the Chance the Rapper of the NBA? And someone's going to have to listen 15 minutes to get to this point. Like, damn it, these guys suck.
This podcast sucks.
They wanted to buy a freaking beach towel.
There's going to be comments like, not everyone should have a podcast. This is the example.
They need to make equipment more expensive.
Yeah.
Like, well, too bad, idiots.
Too bad, idiots.
Like, we got these mics for $70. What are you going to do?
Hey, what are you guys going to do?
Yeah.
We talk. We yap.
We yap. Yeah. Final thing.
Yeah, give it to me.
I was going to do a whole thing on Rookie of the Year and the odds that came out, everything like that. Zach Edey right now leading the odds.
So interesting.
So interesting. And it kind of led me to a different question of, in sports, and I know, we can't really talk hockey. We can't talk but is this like the least excited we've felt about a draft class of really any sport? I just even when there's some draft class in the NFL, it's bad quarterbacks. It's like, well, hey, there's these amazing receivers or amazing running backs. And it's like, we're talking about, we talked about during March Madness, like Zach Edey. And now it's like, oh no, he's the favorite right now to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that is wild. I think part of the Zach Edey hype right now is because the fit is so perfect in Memphis.
Yeah,
And
sure.
it's just like, man, if they start him and they have such a good team around him, it's going to be easy for him to
win it.
produce.
For sure.
But I get what you're saying. I don't know about all sports. I know for the NBA, this definitely is the the draft I've been least hyped about since I've been an NBA fan.
Dude.
I mean, every year usually there's a guy that you can point at and say, okay, this is the guy I think is going to be a perennial star.
Yeah.
And in this draft, I don't see that. I don't see a single guy.
And there's a chance, like, and that's not us saying, hey, there's not going to be a single guy, but it's more so it's like, it's probably going to be pretty random if there is a star that breaks out of this class.
Right.
Like, we don't even talk about the first 2 picks. We mentioned it in past pods. They weren't even publicized for, the Summer League.
Yeah.
Alex Sarr was terrible in the Summer League.
Right. I mean, the hype coming into the year is all Bronny in Summer League. And it's so interesting. I think that you said it just now, but I think one of us said it on the draft show, maybe me, but I was like this year, this draft, whoever becomes the star, it could be anywhere from 1 to 15. I mean, there is going to be stars out of this draft. 1, maybe. I mean, there's always one.
Yeah.
There could be a couple, but it could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be anyone. It could be Nikola Topic, who's going to sit out this year.
Yeah.
And play for. He got drafted by Oklahoma City. It could be Rob Dillingham, who's
not going to play probably much this year at all.
Who the Wolves traded for. And it could be anyone. That's why this draft it's interesting, but also I'm the least excited about a single player. It'll be fun to track though about because there's guys who are going to show up, and it's going to be fun to see who that random player is.
That's I think the excitement you should have for this draft class is, and maybe it will be Reece Hachey or Alex Sarr. I'm struggling to be like, no, these guys are going to. It's also because of the situations they're in.
Yeah.
I don't think Atlanta or Washington are great situations, but it really could be like, I mean, I have no idea though. And
yeah.
I think you brought up the best point of Zach Edey. Like, he's in the best situation of probably any of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, Donovan Clingan could be in a good situation, but right now, he could be third on the depth chart for centers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. We talked about the DeAndre Ayton stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be fun.
Should be fun. But yeah, just want to get your take on rookies. So, Trev, I'm booming.
Ooh.
Because we're 2 weeks away from that preseason.
Me too, man. Boom or doom, I'm all boom.
I'm all boom.
I'm all boom.
3 booms.
3.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's a good place to end the show, isn't it?
That's a great place.
All right, so for Chance the Rapper, a.k.a. Brandon Roy, our great producer Andy from behind the scenes, and Trevor Micken, I'm Scott Ayers saying so long for now. We will see you next week.
We bring the boom! That's what we do!